Hi there, my name is Avery and this is Frank. This morning we're going to walk you through a slow flow, so this will be accessible to beginners, to people who have had a few months off the mat, maybe if you're feeling a little tight after a long night's sleep. So we'll go ahead and get started by resting on our backs. Begin here by placing one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, bringing attention to your physical body, your presence on the mat. Take a big inhale through the nose, side out exhale through the mouth. Perhaps taking a moment to set an intention for your practice. Maybe it's a mantra. Maybe it's as simple as reminding yourself to connect your movements and your breath. Take a big stretch, like you just woke up in the morning, stretching the hands above the head, pointing the toes, getting as long in the body as you can before you give yourself a big hug, drawing the knees into your chest, maybe rolling around a little bit on the low back. Placing the head back down to the mat, I'll begin to make some small circles on the low back with our hips. Drawing the knees in circles in one direction, and then maybe moving in the opposite direction. Maybe you feel a few snap, crackles, and pops in your hips, saying hello, good morning. And then we'll place all of the weight of your legs into your hands, placing the hands on the knees, drawing your knees with the strength of your hands in opposite directions, allowing your legs to just kind of go limp so that all the work is being done with the hands, allowing yourself to open up through the hips here. Go maybe 3 in one direction and then switch into the opposite direction. Taking as many rounds here as you may need. Before meeting back in the center, placing your knees at a 90-degree angle, draw the right hand onto the left knee, outstretch the left hand over to the side, and draw the knees over to the right for a twist. Gaze can follow over to your left fingertips. Breathing here on your inhale, feel the body expand. Exhale, release into the posture. Trying to get the shoulder blades to touch the mat. Taking 3 more breaths here. When you're ready on the next inhale, drawing the knees back through center, using the strength of your core. Placing the left hand on the right knee now, dropping the knees over to the left for the twist in the opposite direction. Right arm outstretches. Gaze can fall over the right fingertips. Inhale, feel the body expand. Exhale to release, sinking into your toes. Stay here for 3 more breaths. Each inhale, expanding further. Each exhale, sinking deeper. When you're ready on your next inhale, drawing the knees back through center. Once again, using the strength of your core to do so. Perhaps giving yourself a big tight squeeze again before placing the feet on the mat beneath your sit bones. Arms can stretch out to the sides before reaching the arms over, biceps by the ears. Take a big inhale here before drawing the hands back to the hips. This time we're going to raise the hips and the arms at the same time, so pressing the heels into the mat, lifting the hips, lifting the arms, biceps by the ears. Exhale, lowering down bone by bone. Inhale, feel the spine articulate up one vertebrae by vertebrae. Exhale, lower down. Move through a few rounds of these flowing bridges. 3, 2, and 1. This is a good way to warm up the spine in the morning. Maybe shaking it out through the hips, windshield wipering the feet, the knees side to side. Maybe your dog is bringing you a bone, just like Frank is. That is one challenge of practicing from home, is it's harder to remove the distractions. So if that is the case for you, just reminding yourself to go back to your breath and into the physical body, which can help you move away from the distractions. Drawing the knees into the chest, we'll begin to rock forward and backwards on the mat until you rock yourself up into a comfortable seat, sitting crisscrossed, maybe placing one ankle on top of the other, trying to keep a straight spine. When you're ready, drawing the arms to the sky, inhale. Exhale, draw the hands to heart center. Perhaps closing the eyes here. Maybe take a second of gratitude. Take another inhale, arms rise. Exhale, this time placing the left hand on the right knee, placing the right hand behind the hips for another twist. Gaze can follow over the right shoulder. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, draw the hands back to the center, overhead. Exhale, placing the right hand on the left knee now, left hand behind the sit bones. Gaze can go over the left shoulder. 2 breaths here. On the next inhale, this time just drawing up the left hand, placing it now on the right knee. So both of our hands are on our knees, the opposite. And we'll begin to move almost like a cat and cow spine. So drawing the belly inwards, rounding through the spine. Exhale, feel the body and chest expand. Inhale, exhale to round. Inhale, feel the body expand. Exhale, round through the spine. Maybe resting here in this posture before making our way back up to seat. Placing the hands in front of the knees, we're going to move into our tabletop position. So your shoulders will be over your elbows, which will be over your wrists. Your hips will be over your knees. Starting in a flat back, we'll take an inhale, drop the belly, gaze will lift. Exhale, pressing through the palms to round the spine. Once more, inhale, drop the belly, gaze, elbow lift. Exhale, round through the spine for cat pose. Move through 3 more rounds just like this. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you start to move through some unorganized movements, barreling through the spine. Perhaps moving through a few rounds of Muladhara Kriya. Placing the hips to the right, and then through center, and then through left. And then once again, left, center, right. This is a grounding practice and posture. We'll meet back in tabletop, drawing the right arm, right hand to the sky, perhaps moving through a few arm circles forwards and then backwards before threading the right hand underneath the left arm, placing the right shoulder and right cheek to the mat. Outstretching the left fingertips to the top of the mat, or maybe they wrap around your low waist for a bit more of an intense stretch here. Take a deep breath. Remembering to not assign any judgment to whatever particular option you choose in your postures, but just allowing how you feel today, how your body feels today to be the guide of your practice. Placing the left hand on the mat, reaching the right hand to the sky for one more stretch. Placing the right hand on the mat. This time the left hand to the sky. Move through those arm circles, forwards, backwards before threading the left hand underneath the right, left shoulder to the mat, left cheek to the mat. Perhaps right hand outstretches in front of you, or maybe around the back for that bind to twist deeper in your shoulder. Taking a few more breaths here. Once again, placing the right hand on the mat. Draw the left arm to the sky. Try to stretch as much as possible before placing the left hand back down onto the mat. We'll press back into a quick child's pose, placing the hips, the sit bones onto the heels, outstretching the hands in front of you, placing the forehead to the mat. Taking a few expansive breaths here into the rib cage, feeling the body expand with your breath. Exhale, release, knitting the ribs together. Now we'll move into our first downward facing dog, planting the hands, curling the toes underneath, lifting the hips to the sky. Knees can either be slightly bent or straight, heels either lifted or planted into the mat. Trying to draw the shoulder blades down and towards your hips. Knees can go towards your navel. Maybe pedaling it out here, bending one knee and then the other. Often when we do this posture first thing in the morning, it feels much tighter than it would later on in the day in our hamstrings. Not assigning that any judgment, but just taking note. Noticing how you feel in this first downward facing dog. Perhaps rising onto the tiptoes, lengthening through the toes and the feet, and placing the heels back and down towards the mat. Doing this once again, rising to the tiptoes, placing the heels down towards the mat. And then we'll slowly make our way towards the top of the mat, just one little step at a time. And when our feet reach our hands, we'll take an inhale, half lift, flat back, maybe the palms meet the shins. Exhale to fold, and allow yourself to just release here in this ragdoll position. Dropping the shoulders, dropping the head, maybe shaking it out, yes and no. Perhaps taking the hands to your elbows, or maybe giving yourself a hug. Or maybe your hands meet the mat. Maybe you bend through the knees and straighten. Just shaking it out side to side. We'll draw our hands over to the left, trying to outstretch the right fingertips as much as possible, feeling this twist. Inhale through center, exhale over to the right. Inhale through center, over to the left. One more time. Inhale through center, over to the right. Meeting back in center, we'll inhale for a half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, we'll roll up, bone by bone. Head is the last thing to rise. Standing and meeting in Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to move through a few rounds of a baby sun salutation here. So arms will rise overhead, inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale to half lift, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms will rise. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, roll up bone by bone, arms out wide. Exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana. Move through one last round just like this, connecting each movement to your breath, taking it at your own natural pace. Arms rise, exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and down to Tadasana. Making our way to the top of the mat, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, this time planting the hands, step back to plank. You can either move through a vinyasa here, lowering down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, or just meet us back in downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. On your next inhale, right leg will rise. Exhale, knee to nose, planting the foot in between the palms, dropping the back knee down towards the mat for this low runner's lunge. Keeping the hands placed on the mat, allowing yourself to deepen into back hip flexor, Inhale, arms will rise overhead. Exhale, hands to the mat, lengthening through the front leg, shifting the hips back. Inhale, shift forward, arms will rise. Exhale, hands to the mat, shift back. 2 rounds just like this. Inhale. To exhale. One more. Meaning in that low runner's lunge, we're going to curl the left toes under and meet in a high runner's lunge. The hands still connected to the mat, taking an inhale and exhale. This time, perhaps testing our balance by raising into a crescent warrior. With hips pointed forwards, right knee bent, perhaps at a 90-degree angle, holding yourself here for just a moment. Taking a few breaths. Back knee can either be straight, or if it helps you to keep your hips straight forward by bending it, you can do that. Squeezing the glutes and all the muscles in your leg. We'll plant the hands on either side of the right foot. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. We'll now move through that on the opposite side. So lifting the left leg to the sky. Inhale, exhale, drawing the knee to the nose, planting the left foot in between the palms, dropping the right knee to the mat. Allowing yourself to sink into the right hip, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor once again. Trying to send breath towards the hips, noticing if you're clenching or squeezing or feeling tight, if there's anywhere you can relax. On an inhale, arms will rise overhead. Exhale, plant the palms, shift back, straightening through the front leg. Inhale, shift forward, arms rise. Exhale, shift back. Moving through this hip flossing motion. You may feel this in the front hamstring, in the right hip flexor. And one more, press back. Allowing yourself to take a few breaths here. Before shifting forward, placing the hands on the outside of the left foot, curling the right toes under this time, pressing up into this high runner's lunge. Taking a moment to gather your balance before lifting into a crescent warrior. Hips will be shifting towards the front of the mat. Arms can either be at the ears, perhaps at heart center. Maybe you find a drishti. Arms rise once again, placing the hands on either side of the left foot, stepping back to downward facing dog. Taking a breath. We're walking our feet towards the top of the mat. One baby step at a time. When the feet meet the hands, we'll inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. Allow all the stress and tension to roll off of the shoulder blades onto the mat, to be swept up, thrown away. Feeling decompression in the spine here, maybe you shake right and left. Let's take a collective inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out through the mouth. Placing the palms of the hands underneath the feet so the toes will reach the wrist creases. Bending the elbows, bending the knees. Straightening through the elbows, straightening through the knees to half lift. Exhale, bend the elbows to fold. Inhale, lengthening the inhale, lengthening through spine. Exhale to fold. Removing the hands from the feet now. We'll inhale, half lift, exhale to fold, and roll up bone by bone, trying to take as much time as you possibly can. Your head would be the last thing to rise. Maybe shrugging the shoulder blades down. Moving through one last vinyasa, so arms will rise. Inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Planting the hands, step back to plank. This time we're going to lower all the way down onto our belly. Taking whatever you need to get there. Outstretching the right arm to the side in T position. Left hand underneath the left shoulder. Pressing into the left hand and drawing the left foot towards the right hand behind the back for this scorpion type posture. You may feel this in the front shoulder, in the hip flexor, in the back. When you're ready, the back to center, placing right hand underneath the right shoulder now, left arm outstretched, pressing into the right hand, drawing the right foot over the back towards the left fingertips. I like to think about engaging through my core to keep my lower back protected. Moving back into center, this time placing both hands underneath your shoulders, moving into a mini cobra, lifting the chest off the mat, gaze at a neutral position, perhaps even lifting the fingertips off the mat just a centimeter, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lowering back down, and then we'll move through 5 quick repetitions of the cobra. So inhale, 1, lower down, exhale, inhale, 2, lower down, exhale, inhale, 3, lower down, exhale, inhale, 4, lower down, exhale, inhale, 5. Now, pressing into the palms, we'll push back into our child's pose. Pressing back, hips over heels. Outstretching the hands towards the front of the mat. Drawing the palms over to the left side for that side body stretch, placing the right fingertips onto the ground, trying to almost draw the earth towards your body. If you can get that suction on the ground. Inhale, feel that side body stretch. Exhale, walk your hands back through center. Inhale, over to the right now. Left hand outstretches past the right fingertips. Feeling the left side body stretch now. Walk the hands back through center, meeting in tabletop position. And then we'll make our way to a comfortable seat. Sitting back onto the sit bones. Placing the feet together for butterfly pose. Drawing the feet away like you're opening a book. Pressing the elbows into the thighs. Inhale to expand. Exhale to fold. Drawing the feet in front of you, legs outstretched. We'll inhale, arms will rise overhead. Exhale, keeping a flat back, fold forward. Perhaps rounding now to find your feet. Inhale and exhale. Making your way back up to seated. Lower down, bone by bone, rolling down. Making our way into happy baby. Placing the hands on the outside of the feet. Drawing the feet to the sky. Maybe rocking side to side. This isn't comfortable, feeling free to remain rested on your back as you prepare for Savasana. If you're in happy baby, releasing the feet, allowing them to stretch long on the mat, placing the hands down to the side. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. Side out through the mouth. Allowing yourself to just simply rest. Feel yourself melt into the mat. All the work is done. Just breathe. Stretch once again before either rolling to one side or just drawing yourself up to a comfortable seat.